5 congressional members are back in their home states after a busy stretch in D.C. last week. This includes Texas Congressman Colin Allred, who is seeking to topple incumbent Senator Ted Cruz in this fall's election for U.S. Senate. Victor Jacobo sat down with the Democratic candidate. Victor joins us live now. What did Allred tell you, Victor?
Yeah, Colin Allred tells me that the stakes in this race are huge, and that's true if you look at the amount of national attention and national money being poured into this race. Allred says that voters in this race have the chance to impact not just the trajectory of the state of Texas, but the entire country.
I will be the opposite of how I see Ted Cruz serving us in an incredibly divisive way that pits us against each other.
Congressman Colin Allred sat down with us with less than 7 months to go until the election between him and Senator Ted Cruz. A recent poll by the Texas Hispanic Policy Foundation found Cruz ahead of Allred among likely voters, 46% to 41%. One of the top issues in the state and nationally is abortion.
There's one thing I know about us as Texans, is that we believe in freedom, and this is not it.
Former President Donald Trump said this month he wants the issue left to the states. But Allred says as senator, he would want federal action.
We have to restore this right. The only way we can do that, as I see it, is at the federal level by codifying Roe v. Wade, going back to the standard that we've had for the last 50 years.
Allred also rejected Ted Cruz's accusation of being soft on border security, saying he supported a bipartisan deal that was ultimately killed by Republicans following pressure from Trump.
Well, I don't know why Ted Cruz refuses to help us secure the border. We had a chance with a bipartisan bill in the Senate, although I think it's because he wants to be able to run on the issue. And to me, that has to be so outrageous to every Texan that we have a senator who would rather have a problem so he could talk about it for a campaign issue than try and solve it for the rest of us.
In a recent interview with KHOU, Cruz cast himself as a better bipartisan candidate and Allred as a far-left Democrat.
When I was in the NFL, we used to say, check the tape. The tape doesn't lie. And Ted Cruz has 12 years of being the most hyper-partisan United States Senator in the country.
Allred pointed to his record on Capitol Hill and having earned recognition as one of the most bipartisan members of Congress, including from the Common Ground Committee, which rates congressional members' bipartisanship.
I'm the exact opposite. I will be an advocate for you even if you don't support me politically. That's the way I've served in my time in Congress. That's the way I hope to serve in the Senate.
Now, in recent surveys, Allred is polling higher than President Joe Biden. Allred told me that he believes voters will be able to separate their feelings between the presidential and Senate races when they go to the polls in November, boosting his chances of being able to beat Ted Cruz. Now, putting live in Houston, Victor Jacobo, KHOU 11 News.